Christmas Eve, 1971. A plane breaks apart in mid-air, 10,000 feet above the Amazon. A 17-year-old girl named Juliane Koepcke falls out of the wreckage, still strapped into her seat, and drops almost 2 miles into the jungle below. She survives. 91 other people on that flight do not. Every direction around her looked exactly the same. One wrong decision, and nobody would ever have found her. Juliane survived because she could see things the jungle was trying to tell her. But here's the strange part. It's not that she knew how to do this. The strange part is almost every human used to. In fact, if you had been born just 300 years ago, you probably could have done it too. And here's what's even stranger. We didn't lose this ability because we got less intelligent. We forgot it because one day the world quietly stopped asking us to remember it. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you a place where that ancient, forgotten skill is still beating our best modern technology, satellites included. But first, you need to understand what we actually lost. Your ancestors walked outside every morning, and they didn't check the weather. They checked the sky. They didn't ask Google which way was north. They looked for one star. They didn't wonder if rain was coming. The trees had already told them. That wasn't magic. That was education, just a very different kind. Nature wasn't scenery to them. It was language. And once you understand that, the world starts looking completely different. Wispy, feather-like clouds in the sky. Old-timers called them mare's tails. That single detail told them a warm front was coming, a full day in advance. But clouds weren't even the most useful clue. Birds flying unusually low to the ground? That's not folklore, that's physics. Low air pressure before a storm makes it harder for birds to get lift, so they drop closer to the ground to conserve energy. But birds weren't the most impressive part either. Trackers could look at a single footprint in the dirt, how the edges had crumbled, how the disturbed soil had started to dry, and tell you how fast a person was moving, how much they weighed, and roughly how long ago they'd passed through. Here's the part that still stuns modern search and rescue teams. Some trackers could tell whether the person was injured, just from the way the weight landed differently on one side. No blood, no visible wound, just a footprint. Could you do that? Could you even try? Here's the uncomfortable question. Could you survive one day without Google Maps? Because that's exactly the gap we're talking about. Here's a way to think about this. For hundreds of thousands of years, every generation added new lines of code to this skill, refined it, passed it down. Then, quietly, we started deleting them. First, farming deleted one piece. Once humans settled down to grow food in one field, they no longer needed to track animals or read entire ecosystems. Their world shrank to a single plot of land. Then, factories deleted another. In just 50 years, England went from 20% urban to 50% urban. Millions of people moved indoors, worked by artificial light, and let a telegraph wire tell them the weather instead of the sky. Finally, smartphones deleted almost everything that was left. Today, the average person checks their phone dozens of times a day, while many couldn't name the 3 most common trees in their own neighborhood. Line by line, the code got erased. And now the software barely runs at all. Imagine telling a hunter from 20,000 years ago that one day, humans would spend almost their entire lives inside boxes. He wouldn't even understand the sentence. But then researchers actually measured it. A massive US government survey tracked how Americans really spend their time. The result? Just 7% of a single day spent outdoors. The rest inside buildings or inside cars. Researchers gave modern humans a new label because of it. They called us an indoor species. And here's the detail that should genuinely unsettle you. A UK survey found that 90% of children could identify a fictional robot villain from a sci-fi show, but a third of them couldn't identify a magpie. Half of them couldn't tell a wasp from a honeybee. We didn't just stop reading nature. An entire generation is growing up that was never even taught the alphabet. Here's the part scientists weren't expecting. This isn't just a cultural loss. It's costing your brain something right now, today. Psychologists discovered your brain runs on 2 totally different types of attention. One is directed attention, the exhausting, effortful focus you use at work, in traffic, on your phone. It's limited. Burn through it and you get brain fog and irritability. The other is soft fascination. The effortless attention triggered by wind moving through leaves or water flowing. It doesn't drain you. It recharges you. So researchers ran an experiment. They mentally exhausted people with a hard memory test, then split them into two groups, one walked through a city, one walked through a park. The city group showed no improvement at all. The park group's memory improved by 20%. Your brain isn't just enjoying nature when you go outside. It's repairing itself. And here's the part that made scientists take this seriously. They ran the experiment again, but this time nobody even left the room. People just looked at photographs. Some saw pictures of city streets. Others saw pictures of trees and rivers. The result barely changed. Just looking at images of nature gave people's brains a measurable boost. Which means this isn't about exercise or fresh air or getting your steps in. Something about natural environments themselves, the shapes, the patterns, the way your eyes move across them, appears to switch your brain into a different, calmer mode of operating. You don't even have to go outside to feel it. You just have to look. Remember when I said ancient knowledge still beats satellites? Here's what happened. Scientists spent millions of dollars tracking elephants from space, using satellite collars to predict where herds would move next. Then, almost as an experiment, they asked the people who had actually lived on that land their entire lives. At a massive regional scale, the satellites won. But at the local scale, the scale that actually matters, near villages, exactly where human-elephant conflict happens, the local knowledge matched the satellites. In some cases, it beat them. The most expensive tracking technology on the planet. And it wasn't the smartest thing in the room. And it's not just elephants. In Wisconsin, scientists compared forests managed by native tribes against nearby state and federal land, using every modern forestry metric available. The tribal forests had older trees, more plant diversity, fewer invasive species, healthier wildlife. Knowledge that once lived in every human on Earth is still, in the right hands, outperforming the tools we built to replace it. Remember Juliane falling out of that plane into the Amazon? She survived because the forest wasn't random noise to her. It was information. For almost all of human history, nature wasn't scenery. It was language. Somewhere along the way, we stopped speaking it. But here's the strange thing, the language never disappeared. Only the listeners did. And maybe that explains something you felt but never had words for. Why a walk through the woods still calms you down, even when you can't say why. Why a view of the ocean feels like relief. Some quiet part of your brain still remembers how to listen. It's just been a long time since anyone asked it to. Before you click on another video, look out the nearest window. I guarantee there's something out there right now trying to tell you something. The question is, would you even notice? If this video changed the way you'll look outside tomorrow, subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming. I'll see you in the next one.